It's your boy Chubb Rock, chilling right here, my boy Ravi. You know what I'm saying? The great hip-hop debate, which will go on forever. Please support the show if you want to hear about real hip-hop topics. And check the boys out at www.diverseworldorder.com. Peace.
What's up? This is Ravi. Again, I'm the host of the Great Hip Hop Debate, here with the legendary Chubb Rock. I'd like to thank you for sitting down and doing this interview with us.
Thank you, brother.
We're coming out of Wilmington, Delaware, and I guess I'll let Chubb answer the question: why are we in Wilmington?
You know, summertime, a lot of things going on, the festivals and things like that. And one of the brothers here, he's actually running for mayor. He's doing kind of giving back to the community. He took one of the parks out here, Judy Johnson Park, and he has rides and different things going on for the kids. And he was just like, hey, can you come down, you know, and do a couple of songs and things like that? We was like, sure, we'll come down there. We do a lot of these things, man. Sometimes, you know, it's great to go and do the big shows and stuff, and we do that. But sometimes we just like to be in front of the people and have fun, do things that are a little different, you know, and we're going to come and just have a good time, see what the community is about. And then we're going to head up to this celebrity baseball game. Okay. And hang out there for a little bit and just take it easy.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people, you know, I told them that, you know, I was going to be interviewing Chubb Rock. The first question they asked, they say, oh, man. And these people have been listening to Steve Harvey and Michael Bay. Like, oh, man, where's Chubb Rock been? So to answer the question, you know, what have you been doing for the last few years? What's been going on?
Well, I was doing radio in New York for a good while. Which was very nice, great experience and things like that. And, you know, I'm probably going to do that again. It'll be a little later. But then had a little thing in the family. My wife passed away, cancer and things like that. And I decided to, because of something that she wanted, for me to make another album, kind of, you know, do that music that she liked, that golden era that she's a big fan of. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna keep that promise right there real strong. And went back in the studio and started working on the music, and right now it's being received real well. And we're just having a good time promoting it, watching people's reactions to it. And we're just going to do what we got to do, hit the goal.
Yeah, okay. You know? I know, you know, a lot of sort of the way sort of hip-hop is now, hip-hop and women seem that they're not getting along. You know, could you elaborate on how instrumental your wife was in your career in terms of, you know, how she influenced you maybe to write songs or not write songs?
She was like me. I mean, she was just, you know, a big fan of old school hip hop. I mean, tremendous fan of old school hip hop. That's all she used to listen to. So even when radio started, it was a new station that was playing nothing but old school hip hop. Yeah. And she was coming back. She was going to work, and she would always hear the station. So she would come back and tell me, there's a station on. Only playing is old school hip hop, old school hip hop. Right. And then she came back another day. Yeah, I think it's Ed and Dre. I think it's Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. And then she called in one day to request my song. And I think Ed Lover was telling her, what? That's my boy. That's my boy. And she was like, wait a second, that's my husband. And then that's when he was like, yo, tell him to call up here. Really? So when I called up there and I went up there, the program director was like, man, I love your voice. I love just how you do things. Come on. Yeah. I said, I never did radio before. I'll teach you.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it was an incredible opportunity. To never do radio and just jump into afternoon drive like that, where I was working with radio veterans, you know, Big Tigger and obviously Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, stuff like that. So it was an incredible experience, you know. And then, you know, later on, and when she had gotten sick and things like that, you know, we had to do some different things, and I'll do it again. You know, because they've been asking me a lot to go back to radio, you know, different stations. Some syndicated opportunities came my way, but I want to do this first. Right. You know, so we're going to do that.
Okay. Okay, you talked a little bit about the game. You worked with, you know, Ed Lover, Dre, Big Tigger. Analyze, you know, from your own perspective, how do you feel about the state of the game, hip-hop right now in 07? You know, how do you feel? Where's it going? You know?
Well, it's hard to say because hip-hop is going in different ways creatively, and it's going in different ways on a business level. Okay. I've seen the creative, and now I'm experiencing the business side of it. because
Okay.
I got my own label and we're doing music and obviously throwing out a new album. And the game has changed, deeply because the download factor has gotten bigger, while physical goods have gotten, have diminished.
Right, right.
Obviously the closing of record stores and mom and pop stores and Walmart might redirect their focus to go back to how they started, which was more gospel and country music and things like that. So you learn how music is now promoted in a different way.
Right.
And then, of course, you have the creative side in which maybe the younger artists are, doing different kinds of music and things like that. I'm not really upset about the direction. I mean, when we came in, we were younger artists and we were doing music, who knows, where Melly Mel probably thought that was different from what he was doing.
Right, right.
And he's a good friend of mine, so we talk about it and laugh about it all the time.
Right.
So, with the younger musicians and artists that come in, they're that age, they're supposed to appeal to their audience, I think sometimes some of the language they use is a little unnecessary, and if the record is brilliant, it'll be brilliant anyway.
Right, right.
So, but that neither here or there. We've had records in our time that were inappropriate just as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not really, I don't really down the new records like that. I just, I know my record is directed to a different audience, so I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah,
I think like anything else, people got to live and learn anyway.
Yeah. I think I know talking to people. I know I lament the death of the what I call the 4-syllable rapper. Now I know listening to Treat and Write especially. I remember I could count 6, 7, 8 4-syllable words that you spit in that song.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays it's like if the word is longer than 4 letters, it's like people can't even pronounce it. Nas talking about hip hop is dead. I'm not trying to assign it to. I'm not trying to blame to the South because I know people say I hate on the South. I don't hate on the South. I just think that the state of the game in general, regardless of region, has sort of dumbed down. Like, I'm just sort of trying to say like, does that bother you, to an extent, or
It's hard to say because I think that hip hop kind of mimics the time that you're in. When Public Enemy was making their records, the youth were a little more aware of different things. I think that, but if you look at the overall numbers of things now, things have changed overall in all the communities. High school dropout rate is higher, and teenage pregnancy is higher. HIV is extremely high with teenagers, black and Hispanic. So as the climate changes, then the hip hop kind of, you don't know what comes first, the chicken or the egg type of thing.
Right,
but you can't condone one without condoning it all.
right, right.
The records are different than what we did. Obviously Melly Mel and Dougie and guys that were really at the beginning of it, and Kumo D will say it's totally different than what they were doing.
Right.
But what do? You have I used to watch all these documentaries about football. I used to play football.
Okay.
They used to have a joke. I remember when we were going into practice. I remember one time they had Jim Brown come in, and he was teasing us, saying, "Look at all this padding that you guys are using."
Right.
Right. We never had this kind of padding, and our helmets didn't have this, and
Right.
we played real football. Right? He was
Right.
teasing us and everything. So, and we would always make jokes with him, like, "Yeah, that's why you have MS now, or whatever."
Right.
You get knocked around. And all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But as we're teasing them, it shows different things because now the padding is even more, and they have all these different rules of how long you can actually be playing, time
Right.
differentials and everything.
Right.
So, the beginning of anything, there's going to be a harder grind,
Right.
in the beginning of everything,
Right.
So right now we're just in the natural progression to see these new records. People are now calling it what they're calling it now, fast food music.
Right. Right.
And, watching guys overnight getting $1 million or whatever.
Right. And
And then we could sit down and go, well, wow, we didn't have that or whatever.
Right.
We only had, maybe we could only get $100,000. And Melly Mel could say, we didn't even get $10,
Right,
and then Sugar Hill might be able to say, "What's money?"
Right. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like all this kind of thing. So we just take. There has to be. There's an evolution of anything.
Right.
You know, so we can't get down because of. Or be angry or bitter because of those type of things. But
Right.
you hope that on a social level, some of them kids will kind of understand that certain records are a little off.
Right.
You don't know if they're going to ever take heed to that, but it's what you hope for in at least an art form.
Right. Right.